The Cottage was a flick I had such high hopes for when it came out. It had a real good trailer and a lot of talented people attached to the project. The film is a crime comedy following two brothers and their friend who kidnap a local crime lord's daughter and hold her for ransom at a remote cottage. Then, after some hijinks, they end up at a neighbouring farm where they encounter an insane, disfigured killer. Half the film is a stylish crime drama, and the second half is a goofy horror film. It's the same formula that From Dusk Till Dawn uses.
You just have to sound like someone who would if they had to.
Well, what do you want me to say then?
You have to tell her that if you get any more trouble out of her, you're gonna break her fucking fingers.
I could say that easily. Why are you making such a big deal out of it?
Because you couldn't scare a child in the dark.
It has a surprisingly great cast, with Andy Serkis and Reece Shearsmith as opposing brothers, Steve O'Donnell as their bumbling sidekick, and Jennifer Ellison as the kidnapped daughter. Everyone's really good, with Serkis an intimidating straight man, Shearsmith a Weasley reluctant partner, and Steve a less smart buffoon. Jennifer Ellison is really irritating as this hard Liverpudlian lass in this movie though. Don't get me wrong, she plays the part near perfectly, but she's so aggressively vulgar and mean that I got pretty tired of her character real fast. I'm a little torn because maybe that was the point, but it did make me sigh a little whenever she was on screen. Her shtick just got old.
I knew it was you, you smelly fuck. You are fucking dead!
Oh my god! Shut up!
It's actually a pretty funny movie with some zingers, but if you hate British humour then you won't find anything here you'll like. It's all about dry dialogue and wit. If you like the comedy in something like Severance, where a lot of the humour is to do with not what's said but how it's said, then you'll probably love this stuff. Otherwise, you'll most likely find it a bore until the killer farmer randomly pops up at the halfway mark.
That one moved.
Which one?
The ugly one.
It's actually really jarring when out of nowhere the film just 180s into a slasher movie. And most of that is because there's just so little setup to it outside of some locals saying make sure to lock your doors. Unlike in From Dusk Till Dawn, the film's carryover into this horror section isn't as clean. In From Dusk Till Dawn, we open with an over-the-top shootout, have a lot of goofier comedy and violent scenes in the first half, along with the seductive dance by Selma Hayek to lead us into the world of the vampires. It makes the transition into vampire killing so smooth, and the vampires themselves have a ton of character and backstory to them. Here, there's precious little of that. The farmer kinda disappoints, as we never get any real backstory about him, and his cottage is just a cottage. There's some body parts here and there, but other than that, there's just nothing to him. He's just a big bland farmer with a disfigured mug. He's there as an unstoppable killing machine, but has no personality outside of roaring like an animal and murdering folk. It's so strange, but I actually prefer the first half of the movie that's a crime comedy caper over the remainder of the movie which is a slasher. It's just more tightly scripted and executed better. The slasher sections legitimately bored me for stretches, it's just so generic. Look at something like The Strangers 2. When the killers show up in that film, it's suddenly bursting with energy. There's brutal kills, chilling imagery, and genuinely thrilling chase scenes. Here, the film plods along at the exact same tempo as when it was a dialogue-driven crime comedy. There's only one proper chase when the farmer appears, and that's really it. After that, it's just a lumbering horror film devoid of any real tension or scares until it abruptly ends.
We're on the farm. Tracy's dead and there's a madman after me.
Where the film does deliver is in the gore. There's some really neat practical effects work here and hilariously gruesome injuries that the characters suffer. Having your foot chopped in half with a shovel is something that's both super silly yet really sore to imagine happening. The Cottage is a mixed bag, but it's worth at least one viewing for the first half. If you're a fan of B-grade slasher movies or British comedy horrors, then you'll probably get a few kicks out of it.
Good.